For a while now, I've been asking myself one question: is Rhea Ripley on the verge of doing something that could truly be considered unthinkable? The more I've thought about it, the more I believe I have the answer. And I know some people will agree with my perspective while others won't, but that's perfectly fine. What matters is that we can all acknowledge one undeniable fact: Rhea Ripley is without question one of the most over stars in WWE today. I'm not just talking about the women's division, I mean across the entire roster, men and women alike. Her presence, her connection with the crowd, and her consistent performances have placed her in that upper echelon. This was even discussed on the WWE Unreal series, where her rise was highlighted as something rare and special. Recently, Paul Heyman appeared on Ariel Helwani's show and spoke about who he sees as the future leaders of WWE. Among the names he mentioned, Rhea Ripley stood out. In 2025, Ripley finds herself in a particularly fascinating position, one that could define her trajectory not just for this year but for 2026 and beyond. The year began with her wrapping up her long, hard-fought feud with Liv Morgan, regaining the Women's Championship on January 6 during the premiere of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. This moment was huge, a statement that she was back on top, ready to dominate again. Naturally, this set the stage for a dream match at WrestleMania against Bianca Belair, a bout that fans had been clamoring for and that both competitors had expressed interest in. The anticipation was through the roof. Yet, WWE decided to go in another direction. At first, that decision puzzled a lot of people, but in hindsight, it created new possibilities. Instead of Ripley defending against Belair one-on-one, Io Sky defeated Ripley for the championship on an episode of Raw, shaking things up significantly. From there, WWE booked a triple threat match for WrestleMania featuring Io, Rhea, and Bianca. Io emerged victorious again, further intensifying Ripley's hunger to reclaim her spot at the very top. She remained a constant presence in the title picture, refusing to fade into the background. Ripley and Io Sky soon found themselves embroiled in a heated rivalry, which eventually saw them clash in an Evolution match. Just when Ripley seemed poised to reclaim gold, Naomi shocked the world by cashing in her Money in the Bank contract and winning the championship. That moment shifted the momentum once again. SummerSlam offered a chance for redemption, with Ripley, Io Sky, and Naomi battling in another triple threat for the Women's World Championship. This time, Ripley looked like she had the match in the bag, seconds away from pinning Io Sky when Naomi swooped in to steal the victory. That was twice in a short span that Naomi had taken the championship right out of Ripley's grasp. For Ripley's fans, these moments were as frustrating as they were dramatic. I bring up the string of triumphs, setbacks, and near misses because they tell a larger story. Despite the disappointments, Ripley's star power has only grown. She has become the centerpiece of the women's division, someone whose presence commands attention regardless of whether she's holding a title. And now, I believe she's on the verge of accomplishing something incredibly rare in the wrestling world, something that transcends wins and losses. I believe Rhea Ripley is about to join an exclusive club, the true megastars of WWE. When I say megastar, I'm not just talking about being popular or even being a top champion. I'm talking about the kind of performer whose mere presence moves the needle. Think about Becky Lynch from 2019 onward. Becky reached that level where her segments would spike television ratings. If her name was on the marquee, ticket sales went up. When she trended on social media, engagement exploded. Fans sought her out no matter what she was doing. That's the territory Ripley is approaching. Wrestling history is filled with only a handful of names who have been genuine needle movers: Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Bruno Sammartino, Ric Flair, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. These are performers who became attractions in themselves. Fans tune in not just for the matches but for the personalities. In the women's division, Becky Lynch has been that figure for the last several years. Now, as Becky begins to shift her focus, there's a vacuum at the top, and Ripley seems primed to fill it. Becky's career priorities have evolved. Being a mother is obviously the most important part of her life now, and professionally, she's aiming toward Hollywood movies, television roles, a broader entertainment career. In 2024, she spent a great deal of time filming projects, and even in 2025 she continues to balance that work with WWE commitments. By most accounts, one of the main reasons she returned to WWE in 2025 was to help elevate Lyra Valkyria, giving her the kind of rub only a top star can provide. The reality is, as Becky's availability decreases, WWE needs another woman who can carry that main event attraction status. Ripley is that candidate. Ripley has all the tools necessary for superstardom. She has an undeniable charisma that draws fans in whether they love her or love to hate her. She has the physical presence that makes her stand out even in a crowded locker room. Her promos are confident and memorable. She connects with audiences emotionally, something that can't be faked. Inside the ring, she's skilled, with an in-ring psychology that makes her matches feel important. If you were to write a checklist for the perfect WWE star, look: charisma, promo ability, in-ring skill, connection with the crowd. Ripley would check every single box. Another crucial factor is the audience's response. Ripley's reactions from live crowds are consistently among the loudest in the company. I would comfortably place her in the same category as Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and CM Punk in terms of ovation levels. That's not just hype, that's a measurable sign of her popularity and drawing power. It's also worth noting that WWE, for much of the last decade, has emphasized the brand itself over individual stars. There's a logic to that. It protects the company if a top talent leaves or is injured, but entertainment has always thrived on standout attractions. No matter how strong the WWE brand is, there will always be a greater buzz around a performer who feels like a once-in-a-generation talent. Ripley has become that. As she continues to rise, Ripley could very well follow the trajectory of Becky Lynch's peak years, headlining WrestleMania, selling out arenas, and becoming one of WWE's central marketing faces. The torch is ready to be passed, and she seems more than capable of carrying it. WWE just needs to avoid overcomplicating her booking or stalling her momentum. Looking ahead, there's a crop of talent in the women's division that could redefine the next decade of WWE. Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyria, perhaps Julia if she signs, and even Liv Morgan if she continues evolving, all have the potential to become multi-time women's champions and main event WrestleManias. This isn't just about one performer, it's about a generational shift. But among them, Ripley has that rare quality of feeling inevitable. If WWE continues to position her correctly, she could change not just the women's division but the company's overall landscape. She could become one of those rare stars who transcend the wrestling bubble, appealing to casual fans and even non-fans simply because her name carries weight. Her journey from NXT standout to potential face of the division is already impressive, but the next few years could elevate her into that rarefied air occupied by wrestling's all-time greats. The path won't be without challenges. Competition in WWE is fierce, creative decisions can be unpredictable, and injuries are always a risk. But Ripley has shown resilience through setbacks, whether it's losing the title to Io Sky, being undercut by Naomi's cash-in, or being booked in matches where victory was snatched away at the last second. Every time, she's come back swinging, and each time her popularity has only grown. When you combine that resilience with her marketability, talent, and crowd connection, you have the recipe for a legitimate megastar. Not just a champion, not just a top wrestler, but an attraction in the truest sense. That's why I believe Rhea Ripley is on the verge of joining that very exclusive club alongside names like Becky Lynch, Roman Reigns, and John Cena. And if that happens, it will be the kind of career-defining leap that cements her legacy for decades to come. The future of WWE's women's division is exciting, but Ripley's role in it feels especially important. She isn't just another contender, she's a generational talent at the perfect point in her career to take over as the division's centerpiece. If WWE capitalizes on this moment, we could be witnessing the rise of the next undisputed face of women's wrestling, a star who will not just follow in the footsteps of the greats but carve her own path as one of the most important wrestlers of her era.